Hello, my name's Kerry and I'm a member of the MrProf.com writing team. Today I'm going to talk about countable and uncountable nouns and how they can help with understanding grammar rules. We're going to begin with some quick revision. A noun is the name of a person, place or thing, and there are 4 types of noun. A common or concrete noun is something that you can touch, see, smell, hear or taste. For example, a chair, a table, a sweet. An abstract noun is something you can't touch, see, smell, hear or taste. For example, happiness. A proper noun is the name of a specific person, place, organisation or thing. It always begins with a capital letter. For example, John Smith, London. And a collective noun is the name of a group of people, animals or things. For example, a class of students, a murder of crows, a deck of cards. Nouns break down into 2 subgroups. These are called countable and uncountable nouns. Countable nouns are nouns that you can count. For example, here there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pencils. If there's one of something, it's called a singular noun, and if there's more than one, it's called a plural noun. Most plural nouns end with an S. There are some nouns that you can't count, and these are called uncountable nouns. For example, when you talk about water generally, it's an uncountable noun because you can't count it. You can't say, I have 1 water, 2 waters, 3 waters, etc. But you can say a drop of water, which is countable, or a jug of water or a glass of water. A drop, a jug, a glass are countable, but the water inside them isn't. If you're ever unsure about whether something is countable or uncountable, the word means 1, and this shows that it's countable. Let's look at some more examples. Rice is uncountable because we don't count all the grains of rice in a bowl. However, you might have a few grains of rice in your hand, so a grain is countable, as is a bag of rice or a bowl of rice. Similarly, sugar is uncountable because you can't count all the crystals of sugar, but we can count a lump of sugar, a spoonful of sugar, a bag of sugar, or a kilo of sugar. So why do we need to know about countable and uncountable nouns? Well, knowing about them is useful for understanding grammar rules. Let's begin by looking at the rules for much and many. We use many for plural countable nouns, so he has 2 many boxes, and we use much with uncountable nouns, she has too much work. Knowing about countable and uncountable nouns also helps with the rules for less and fewer. We use fewer with plural countable nouns. For example, there are fewer books in this pile than in this pile. And we use less with uncountable nouns. For example, I have some money, he has less money than me. However, there are exceptions to the rule. Grammar rules do change or evolve over time. Sometimes we might say something that's grammatically wrong, but so many other people are saying the same thing that eventually it becomes accepted as correct. Let's look at some examples. The first is with money. I have less than £2 in my pocket. This should be I have fewer than £2 in my pocket because a pound is countable. But the idea is that less describes a single amount of money. Less can also be used with time. For example, my relationship with my boyfriend lasted less than 5 weeks. You can count weeks, so you would expect the word fewer, but we're talking about a block or a period of time, and time is uncountable. Another exception is with distance. For example, they have less than 3 miles to go. Again, we would expect this to be fewer miles because miles are countable. The idea behind less is that it's describing a chunk of 3 miles. Finally, there's sometimes an exception when talking about weight. For example, she weighed less than 5 kilos at birth. We would expect this to be fewer than 5 kilos because kilos are countable. To many people, it sounds odd to say fewer than 5 kilos, even though fewer is grammatically correct. And so less than 5 kilos or less with measurements of weight is becoming more acceptable. So grammar rules do change or evolve over time, but sometimes there's such strength of feeling that it can hit the national news. In 2008, a major supermarket chain in the UK introduced a new fast-track checkout sign that said 10 items or less. This is wrong because items are countable, so it should be 10 items or fewer. There were so many complaints from angry members of the public that the supermarket chain took down the signs. It didn't replace them with ones that said 10 items or fewer though, because to them it sounded strange, because not many people say this today. Instead, they compromised with this: up to 10 items. I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you'd like to buy a copy of Mr. Bruff's Guide to Grammar, I've put the link in the description below. In the meantime, please like, subscribe and share, and I'll see you in the next video.